Okay, right, we are live. Hello, hello, hello. So, today we're going to be doing a bunch of drawing, basically, because I really want to do like a massive video of like all the lore. So, I'm thinking of showing that through drawings, I guess. However, that means I actually have to make the drawings. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. I've got some like planned out. So there's like four different categories. So like the characters' early lives before meeting each other, the characters while they're together, the Mage Society, which is like one of the overarching societies that our three main characters are a part of, and finally the Lighthearts, the big bad of my world. So yeah, and then I've split that into even more. The Mage Society and the Lighthearts, they need more development because I don't really know, to be honest. I don't really know. But I think that like we can start with figuring out who the characters are individually before they meet each other. That is my plan. So that's probably what we're going to do for most of the stream, is just doing these drawings of who the characters really are, like on their own. So I split it into four. So their day to day, their environment, their hobbies, and then their character traits. The character traits is a bit of like a random category, but I thought because all of my characters have an associated flower. For Daisy, for Sylvie, it is the daisies. For Lydia, it is the bugle. I think I'm pronouncing it right. It is a very nice flower, which I thought kind of, I don't know why, it just reminded me of her. They're just these really pretty flowers. So that is her flower. And then Evan's foxglove. So yeah, that is what I was thinking, I guess. So we will, I guess, start by thinking of what else could I draw for these categories. For the day to day, I've kind of like mixed it up with the day to day and the environment. We can ignore that. We can ignore that. And then hobbies, I've split it into like their individual hobbies, so gardening, drawing, completing a dungeon, and they kind of like, again, because they're quite intertwined, especially for Sylvie, since her work is her hobbies. She isn't like bound by society so much in like the modern way that you would think. So hers is very like interlinked with other things. But for gardening, I was thinking like just general Sylvie gardening, which I've kind of explored in another drawing, but I feel like you can never have too many gardening drawings, I guess. So Sylvie gardening, like a gardening shed. I feel like that would be fun. And then for Lydia, Lydia actually lives. I guess I could have a category for home, so like Sylvie's home, cottages. And then Lydia lives in a dungeon, so Lydia's dungeon, if I can spell it. And finally, Evan's palaces slash manors, because he just lives wherever he is hired to work. So it could really be anywhere, to be honest. He's just like not so, what's it called? Not so grounded, I guess. It can change. Okay, back to this. So we've got Sylvie gardening and then her shed. And then maybe like just general gardening tools. Like, I'm thinking like, what's it called? Like a spade in the ground. I can't think, type, and speak at the same time. So this probably isn't very ideal, but oh well. Drawing, because Evan is an artist. So I'm thinking like piles of drawings and sketchbooks. I feel like it would be cute one day to do like a sketchbook tour of like what I think Evan would have drawn throughout the time, throughout his life. I feel like that would be quite cute. What else could he have? It could be him drawing in shade, like drawing a time off or something. So yeah, that is what I'm thinking. Oh, day to day I've got an idea for Evan training. So just like him taking down a training dummy or something. Yeah. Okay. I think that is probably good enough to start, and then if I want more, then I can like build more on it later. So I'm gonna get this up here off the screen so then I can still see it. There we go. A little bit more setup than I thought it would need. Okay, hopefully my pen doesn't die, because that will be quite dramatic. Quite unhelpful. But we shall see. So sketch 1. I want to do something simple. I don't want anything too crazy, because my perspective knowledge is not good. It's not good. So I'm thinking that we could start with the life cycle for their associated flower. Because at least for Sylvie, I definitely know that one because I've drawn it before. Not quite sure what colour we'll go with, but oh well. I'm thinking that this is a terrible colour. Oh my god. That's not a nice colour at all. There we go. That's slightly better. Maybe I just picked the wrong. Okay. That'll do. I'm thinking start with the seeds coming out. And then go to finally growing with the orange bit. That is not orange, that is fiery brown. With the yellowy orangey bit. I don't really know what it's called. I just call it yellow blob usually. And I can't find a good yellow. This is frustrating. Good enough. And then the way that these petals work is they're like folded in until eventually they all like pop out. So that is the very, very basic sketch, I guess, of what I need. And then if I want, I can do like a little full, though it's not necessary, I don't think. So that is like, that is the thought process I'm going for these sorts of things. I have not done enough research to do Lydia's Boogle, I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that right, and Evan's Foxglove, which isn't very ideal. Oh well. So, gardening, hobbies, just looking at what my options are, I'm seeing gardening comes up a heck of a lot. So we can do that. I'm thinking like most of my prints are horizontal. I think I need to do more vertical ones. Or else I'm gonna have like no vertical ones, which is not gonna be ideal. Not quite what I want. This is very, very brown. Maybe we have a nice blue colour. There we go. Then I can use the brown on the ground. Because I'm thinking having like a massive mound on the ground of just like dirt. A big old pile of dirt. And then a nice spade to go with it. This is a bit a bit silly, but oh well. It's probably a better color if I stick to the actual colors in the color scheme. And just do a random design. There we go. So yeah, these are just very basic sketches, truthfully. They are not particularly pretty. They are not supposed to be. So yay, because if they were meant to be, then I'd have a big problem. I would have a very big problem. Okay, sketch 3. It's crazy how I've just done 2 full sketches in just 7 minutes. That's a little crazy. Oh wells. I think next we could maybe do like the shed. I'm feeling like a sunset would be cute. I do like me and my sunsets, in case you hadn't noticed. Like, really, really like my sunsets. This is a very red sunset though, is the only thing. Like, seriously, this is really red. I don't quite think this works. I don't think this works. Let's get some more pink going. Now it's a very... I would like some pink, please. I like having pink sunsets. I can't seem to get a good balance on colour. This will do for now. This will do. And then if I just have like a basic little shed, because this is Sully's environment, and Sully, everything is made out of like stone and stuff. It's the best way to describe it. If I just do a little perspective thingy. Thinking having maybe like a tree here, just to frame it a bit. A nice hefty tree. And then that might hopefully fit. Although I do notice I've drawn it on the same layer as my perspective grid, which was not particularly smart of me in the slightest. Let's name my layers, because I have not done that yet, which is very silly of me. These are very like dark stones. Doesn't quite work. Ah, that's not quite what I want either. Eeh. There we go. I feel like it can have some darkness, but like not to that extent. Even that is a bit. I seem to get the saturation right. There we go. We got there. Took a minute, but we got there. Can't think of what to name it. Put it in its own. And then that is not quite how I want to draw that. There we go. Good enough. Doesn't need to be anything too fancy. Can just be whatever. I'm thinking something like, oh my god, what has happened? Something like this is quite cute. Also thinking that this tree, the red is very, very saturated. It's kind of hurting my eyes. I think the tree needs to have a different colour, like now. My eyes hurt. There we go. Different colour. I don't know, I'll just really fill in this. So now I have a pretty decent idea of what this will be. Maybe I could have like a window, like at the back of the shed. Maybe that would work. And then you can see the sunset through like the window of the shed. I feel like that would be very cute. A part of the world building for this area is that all of the like the window frames are from the trees, like the tree branches. So that is why this is like funky, it's not straight. I think that's probably big enough. Yeah. Although I do feel like this could be taller, if nothing else. It could be taller. I might change the how tall it is. Yeah, okay. That's better. The tree does not make sense right now. There we go. Right. There we go. There we go. Get the perspective grid out. Roof bits. I don't really know what to call it. Just very simple, very basic sketches will go very far, at least for me. Because I do color blocking, so it makes my life a heck of a lot easier. Where is the walls here? I'm thinking have the spade. What color did I make the spade thing? Just a dark brown, like a really dark brown. I think that's probably it. Okay, spade, and then maybe on this side there can be shelves. I think a shelf would do nice for this space. Just gotta get the perspective right. It would make sense if they're like slightly crooked and stuff. So it's all good if this perspective, like here, isn't quite right. It looks really like strange and crooked. Because you've got to keep in mind, Sylvie has made this entire thing herself. I could maybe like have like an upper bit, a lip. Just to make like a little solution. Like that would be cute. To the fact that it is so like not right. Maybe we could have like a big sack of just dirt. And then there are like plants growing out of the sack. And like dirt on the floor where the sack was. Just like pooling out. I feel like that is a pretty nice concept. Right. What else could we do? We could develop Sylvie's kitchen, maybe, or her cottage even. Just do some world design. Right. Sketch 3. Well, not 3, sorry, sketch 4. I think, yeah, I do want to do a kitchen. But I might go onto Pinterest and get references of like a cottage kitchen. I feel like that would be smarter than just raw dogging it. I see this a lot, like in very old cottage kitchens. What would I be looking for? I have no idea what that's meant to be. Oh well. Environment. Does Sully have her own environment? She does. Maybe I've already got stuff. Oh, like, yeah, you see the sink? These little bars. So, Sully's home environment. This is very much giving, like, cute cottage. The pans on top is kind of giving. Not really. Not really. These shells everywhere. It's giving... Hello, welcome, welcome! Welcome to the stream. We're currently looking for references to a little, what's gonna call it? I've forgotten the name. Cottage kitchen for Sully. That looks... Does that look AI to you? There's something quite, like, not quite right about that. I don't know if it's the lighting, it's just too, like, orange. It looks so strange. Like, that as well, that doesn't look real either. Something weird about it. That's a cute kitchen. Like with the rafters. I think that would be a cute thing to add. I might steal that. That would be very cute. I think for Lydia would be quite cute. Because Lydia, like, she's all about patchwork and things like that. So I feel like that'd be very cute for her. That's cute. I see these all the time. Right, so now we just keep going. Ooh, that's cute. A lot of these are adverts, so I can't actually save them. What is the point of them if you can't actually save them? What am I looking at? Oh, that looks so strange. That don't look real, man. That don't look real. For some reason you can't look at the community. That's so strange. Because it should be just here. Like if you go to the channel thing, it should be here. You won't see these, but you should be able to see this. I'm not quite sure why you wouldn't be able to see it. But I can put a link in chat. That's all easy. There you go. Now you can see it. This definitely meets Sylvie's home environment. A lot of these photos just don't look real. They look AI to me. It just looks so strange. Something not right about them. I don't know if it's the lighting or what. I guess AI trained off of these very real photos and now it's all strange. I like the idea of fairy lights. But instead of fairies... Oh, what? Oh, this is AI? Never mind. No more inspiration. When did I start the stream? About 24 minutes ago. Yeah, I like fairy lights. I'm thinking instead of having like fairy lights like this, because obviously it's like it's not really based on that era where we have fairy lights, obviously. It's very, very old. I'm thinking of having like little fireflies in jars. I feel like that would be quite cute. A little firefly jar. Okay, I think I've got enough references so I can move on. Okay, so just gonna do some drawing. I'm thinking of drawing her kitchen, hence why I've looked at that. You probably shouldn't upload like photos of your room like online, girl. My room also has fairy lights. I like the idea of having the roof back here, and so this, like, the wall has to go at an angle. I like that idea. The perspective of this room is completely confused right now. As am I. I'm no good at perspective. I actually really cannot stand perspective, not gonna lie. I don't know how to do the perspective of this room, like curving in. Hold on. And then it like curves within itself. But like, that doesn't look right, no? Where everyone else is, so do I. Like, no one's been in chat at all, like, or on the stream. You're the first person. Okay. That does not look right. That does not look right in the slightest. I think I need to redo perspective because this is not working. I need to re-practice. This looks so bad. I think maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should think more. Whether I do see a lot of like cute things, so that does make me sad that I can't figure out the perspective of this room. Very frustrating. I'm thinking this here, this here. And then like the actual room here. Like a dining table. I'll just block it out as like as little boxes. Maybe have what are they called? Like the little beams on the ceilings. Maybe I could have one of those. What's wrong? Really trying to figure out how on earth I'm supposed to make this work. It is not working currently. Currently, it is not working. Currently, it looks silly. Oh well. I think I'm gonna move on from the sketch. Move on from this. I can do a different thing. Yeah. You weren't here when I planned this out, so I will quickly re-show. But like, I want to show like the lore of Frevy's home. Just want to do like a really long video on it one day. However, if I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna have to draw out things. So this is what we're doing. Is just drawing out certain like things to help me explain it. So yeah, I wanted to do the kitchen of Sylvie. Obviously, that did not work. That did not work. But yeah, I've kind of touched on this. I've kind of touched on like that and things like that. I haven't done anything in like too much detail because I just didn't want to. Like flat out, I just did not want to. But yeah. I think maybe I could do like the forest, which means that we need to do some visual development for what the forest would be. Immediately I'm thinking just like a general like English oak forest. At the moment I'm thinking sunset just because I generally do not sunset, sorry, sunrise, because I generally do sunset, as you can see. Like there's literally one right there. I want to do something a little bit different for once. And there we go. And then just, what time is it for me? It is 12:30. Yeah, I'm streaming kind of late today, to be honest. It's fine. Or at least I started streaming kind of late. For you, it's 7 a.m.? That's when I woke up. No. For me, it's been a couple hours. Yeah, it's been quite a while since it's been 7 o'clock here. Like, just a couple hours, you know? Just like half a day, or a quarter of a day even. This is not turning out well. I don't know why. I don't know why my drawing ability is just flopped. Like, I can't seem to draw anything right now. What the heck? This isn't working. This is not working in the slightest. As long as I get some ideas out, it is fine. It is fine. Just treat these as warm-up sketches and not as fully fledged ones, which they are supposed to be. Oops. I don't know why I suddenly can't draw anything. Right, what else could I draw, considering nothing seems to be working right now? Like, literally nothing. Maybe a little dungeon? Because that is where Lydia likes to be the most. That is her happiest place. Is in a dungeon fighting something. So maybe I could give that a go. Yep, she likes her dungeons. She literally lives in one. Like, I don't know if you were at the stream where I was making character sheets, but she quite literally lives in one. Just draw a very, very basic pose. This is like her little like weapon she likes using. She has one in like a lantern in her design. So that makes sense that she would be trying to get one out when she's in the midst of a dungeon. Like just doing general exploration. Develop some shapes. There we go. Probably put this in the background. I don't know why, but I can't seem to come up with any good ideas. This is not very good when all I do is art. It appears that I've hit burnout. Not good. Very not good. Now I gotta find something else. Yeah, probably not the best time to realize that I'm in complete burnout is live on stream. Oopsies. But oh well. Looks like that is the case. Looks like me trying to draw for 3 hours yesterday did not work out for me. What other drawings could I do? I guess maybe like the training environment for Evan. Oh, just get something on the page. To be fair, I am on sketch 7 within half an hour, so that is pretty good. It's just that the sketches are so incredibly bad. Right. Background. So just a little training dummy. Maybe have like rows of them like broken. What is it again? It's a little training dummy. Because Evan is like a guard. So I'm thinking making some training dummies like just like lying on the floor and stuff. Just gotta get things right. Probably was not the best color to use, oh well. Put these right at the back. That looks very, very faint. There you go. Much better. Much better. So that is the concept. These are more so like concept drawings than they are proper sketching. Nice. I haven't really done much like practice in a while. That is probably why I'm struggling so much to do anything. Yeah. I really need to go back to practicing from the looks of things. I think this training dummy sketch is probably the most promising. It just looks right. Maybe I could develop things a little bit more by changing the setting just a little bit to make it seem like it's a sunrise. So then it gives the effect that like Evan's been training all night. I do not like that red. There we go. I think that is slightly better. Right. I think that is actually a decent sketch. It's not more decent than I thought it would look. Considering whatever the hell that is. I think that looks decent. I think that looks decent. The rest what is that? What is that? Conceptually it makes sense to me. But like a random onlooker would not know what the heck they're looking at. Should I develop this one? I think we can develop this one. At the moment, what am I looking at when it comes to clarity? Not much. Not much clarity. I think I need some more like obvious main heroes in this. Because not really going on right now. So what kind of... Should probably think about composition. I haven't really thought about it. Rule of thirds probably be easiest. So just try and get this guy just to be lying down within this little bit here. Just realize you're off by like 17 seconds. What, free delay? Yeah, the delay is quite bad. I don't know why the delay is so bad, which is kind of like the most annoying thing. Like, because I know it's annoying. I know it's bad. But I don't know how to fix it. Actually, I feel like this is kind of diluting it a bit. So maybe instead of having those, have these as like left trio, I guess. I feel like having the stuff on the other side is like diluting the composition and making it harder to know what you're meant to actually be looking at. So this would be like front. Oh, what the heck is that then? Go on. Front, middle, and then back. I think that just makes the composition a lot clearer. And then over here, What would be over here? What would you put over here? Because I genuinely have no idea. Maybe like the bodies? A bunch of the bodies? A plant? A plant could work. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like overgrown plants. I agree. The composition grid is kind of getting in the way. That is really big. There we go. You like? Yay. That's good, because it needs to be liked by something. Because at the moment, it doesn't look quite right. Something about it isn't quite right. I feel like the saturation on it is too much. That it's taking away attention from this. I think I need to change this anyway. It's not quite what I wanted. And then if I check this, yeah. I want this to be a heck of a lot less noticeable compared to this. So while it's still there, it's not too there, if you get what I mean. And there's that, and that's all keeping. Maybe I can try and make this slightly smaller to keep it all fitting within these two boxes. Because it's not quite working. I think that this green is way too dark. And that it's distracting from over here. So it can have some darkness, just like not as much as what it had. Because I feel like that is not how this is going to work. And even that is too much. Trying to work with values is a lot more difficult than I would like to admit. Ah. Like, seriously, a lot more difficult than I'd like to admit. Maybe by lowering the saturation it becomes even less obvious. I think that should work. I think this works for right now. And then maybe I can have like some grass and things. Just to tie the two areas together. I think that works okay. You take art class. You're more professional than me. I've never taken a class for art. like ever. Ooh, I've just come up with an idea. A probably not very good idea, but I've come up with an idea. I need brown. That is a very, very not nice shade of brown. Good enough. I'm thinking like a crater in the ground. You want to be an art teacher? That's cool. I could never. Like, the kids in my school have like scared me out of school. A crater, like in the ground. A big hole, effectively. A very big hole. What? I'm thinking like a crater in the ground. And then if I make the central areas really, really dark, and then they slowly become lighter as you get further from the center. That does not work. Not a clue. Not a clue. I've kind of just accepted. I was about to say 5 mouse. That's a bit scary. A little bit scary. I feel a bit threatened. Five mouse, girl. If you were told, yeah, you're gonna find out in 5 mouse, then I think you'd also be a little bit, Do you think this is giving off crater vibes? I think it's giving off the vibes of a big hole. It needs more work, but I think it's giving off the right vibes. It took me a second, but I'm finally coming up with tolerable ideas. It took me a very long second. I'm thinking of that scene in Threerin where I think it was Fern. She like blew up a boulder on the other side of a cavern, other side of a cliff. That is not how you spell sketch. And I'm suddenly inspired to do something slightly similar. You don't know that scene in Freerun? Really? It's like a really popular scene. I think it's in like one of the opening episodes. Hello, welcome, welcome. Oh, that's a shame. Bye bye. Mm. Ugh, Hado, you do not know how many problems I've been having with drawing today. Like, actually. Like, what? What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? I have been having the biggest problems. I'm genuinely struggling. I think I finally burnt out. Which is rather unfortunate when I'm in the middle of trying to stream drawing all the time. I think I definitely can't be like drawing every single day. I've been doing daily streams for the past like 3 days or something, and it's like not happening. Not good. What colors can I get out of this? Blue? I can get like a purpley color, maybe? That's a nice color. I'll run with that. Except I don't actually like it. I did like the color. Just trying to draw particles. It's not working out for me. I think that looks okay enough. Keyword enough. It looks kind of meh. I want to make everything else desaturated and have this as like really saturated so that you really pay attention to it. However, I'm not doing a very good job, if I'm going to be completely frank. That is a little too noticeable. A little too noticeable. Try and stick in like the grayer zones. The desaturated zones, which can be the sad zones. I typically don't like doing desaturated stuff, but oh well. Does this make sense? Kinda. Kinda. I was doing this one earlier, which is this. However, I can't figure out how to do the composition for it. As I said, I have burnt out, which isn't very good. This is a very simple one. It is literally just meant to be a crater, a massive hole in the floor. Because the thought process is Evan has like completely blown up the floor from like attacking these training dummies so much. As you can see here. However, for whatever reason, apparently I can't draw anymore. Because what is that? So, yeah, not going well. But I think trying to keep going with this. Stargazer came up with the idea of the plants. And I'm like, okay, plants. I can work with plants. Actually, now that I think about it, why don't I change... Okay, hold on. Hold on. I've got an idea. Which is usually not good. Not right now. All of my ideas so far has been very not good. If I just change this to 3 transform. Just to keep the colors. Because I want to be able to get the colors right. Get some more color in. I don't want it to be too red though. I've been doing so many sunsets. I barely ever do any sunrises. I kind of want to change that because it's a bit sad. Oh, that looks bad. Okay. That looks bad. Okay. Good enough for now. Good enough for now. And then if I just copy paste. This is a lot better than what I had. Oh my god. Than what I had previously. Like, significantly so. What is this? I do not know. And then that's random? This makes sense in my head, I think. If I just make these a little smaller to fit the aspect ratio that it will inevitably be shortened down to. I think this makes sense. I think this works. The composition is the line. It's not quite symmetrical, but it's symmetrical enough, if you get what I mean. I think I'm happy to work with this. This means I gotta try and do a convincing wood texture, which not good at. Not good. I also need to figure out where the lighting will be. Because I haven't actually decided where that will be. Give the little bag a completely different color so that it stands out a bit. Oh. There we go. Oh my word. Slightly confused on what on earth is going on. But oh well. I think this is way. There we go. It's way too light. Now I fixed it. Gonna do selection from layer just to make my life supposedly easier. Supposedly easier. I'm no good at doing, what are they called? Like folds in clothes. So this is gonna be a very odd looking thing. And I think I have decided roughly where the light will be. Thinking like slightly behind, but not quite. So this will be in complete darkness, basically. And then if I get some lighting. It's very orange, not quite what I'm going for. Like very orange. I think that's definitely better. And I think that the folds make some sense. Which for me is good enough. It's good enough. Because my folds generally make no sense. I think it's pretty good for what it needs to be right now. Maybe I could do like a tear in it or something like that. Make it more interesting. Okay. Technically. Could get away with just copy pasting. Because they are the exact same. If I'm feeling super duper lazy. And then just reducing the luminosity on it. Or upping it. I don't really understand what it is. There you go, completely copy pasted. You wouldn't even notice. Okay. Now we will do this. That is a heck of a lot more saturated than it used to be. This one I feel like could be mostly in light. I feel like it would make sense if this one was mostly in light. So the light source is like slightly in front of it. I think that the pink is a bit exaggerated, I'm not gonna lie. It appears I cannot escape the pink though. So be it. We will embrace the pink. Pink. Apparently I cannot escape it. I think that the pink is a bit much. Let me reduce the saturation on it. Oh, but then it reduces the saturation on everything else before it actually impacts the pink. Well, that's not annoying at all. And even changing the hue doesn't make it better. Huh. Well, start again. Looks like we start again. I want it to be crazy pink. I say as I add more pink. There we go, more orange instead of pink. Do not want a crazy amount of pink as much as I love the colour. That is not working. Like, at all. What should I do, guys? Not entirely sure how to get myself out of this one. This is not good. So if the light source is here, then I can probably be cheeky and just shade all of this in darkness. And then the rest of this gets highlights, which will not be crazy pink. It will be crazy peach instead, apparently. I think this composition is a lot better than what was going on here, like, significantly so. I don't really know what to do now because I'm really struggling. Really struggling. That may or may not be an understatement. For all the times for me to get art block, I get it now. I think for now, good enough. I think I might end stream here. Just because I got art block, which is not very helpful. So, yay. Well, bye bye guys.